Welcome to Money Patterns Decoded. Money is never just about money, it is a pattern. Today we expose one of those hidden patterns, see exactly how it controls your finances, and discover the precise shift that can set you free. Let's begin. Here's the sharp observation. People who feel morally and spiritually tidy about money often do the exact thing that prevents accumulation. They build ritual, beautiful ledgers, monthly offerings, symbolic transfers that looks whole, like a mandala. It spins, it comforts the ego, it signals virtue, and its center is empty. You're busy, you're spiritually aligned, and your net worth doesn't budge. That gap is intentional, and it's structural. I named this pattern the Hollow Mandala. The promise of the episode is simple. Name the pattern, expose the two-part mechanism that keeps it self-sustaining, and teach one 5-minute daily shift that moves value into a true center. Now let's unpack the first mechanism, the psychological lock. Psychologically, the Hollow Mandala lives on comfort, identity, and symbolic safety. Many rituals are not meant to change your balance sheet. They are meant to calm the nervous system, to show others and yourself that you are conscientious. That's useful, but it becomes a trap when motion substitutes for outcome. You make the same circular transfer each month because it soothes shame, because it proves your identity as the generous one or the spiritual steward. The psychology says motion equals healing. The money does not agree. Motion without directional intent trains you to value activity over accumulation. The portrait of virtue becomes the prison of habit. That's the psychological half of the mechanism. Now the esoteric half, the geometry of the trap. Imagine energetic flows as geometry. A mandala is concentric, rings feeding rings. If the center is open and receptive, the rings focus and transmute incoming attractors into growth. But if the center is hollow, an empty visual center with no seed stone, those concentric loops simply circulate energy and cancel the resonance that would draw in more. In plain terms, ritualized motion creates resonance cancellation. You hum at the edge of attraction, but there's no aperture to pull capital inward. The more beautifully you spin the circle, the more the attractor signal washes out. That's the esoteric mechanism. Closed concentric flow neutralizes the magnetic pull of real abundance. Reframe with this metaphor. Picture a mandala carved in stone, ornate, balanced, hypnotic. Now imagine the very center, the seed stone that holds the design together, is missing. The pattern still looks whole, but it can't bear weight. Motion without a fulcrum cannot raise weight. You can polish the rings until they shine, but without a center that accumulates, nothing ever grows upward. That missing seed is the exact place we will target. Here is the high-impact, practical fix, the concentric rebalance. It is a 5-minute daily practice that relocates one intentional unit of value from circular motion into a designated growth aperture, your seed stone. The steps are precise and simple. Step 1. Choose the unit. It can be $1, 1 minute, 1 intentional percentage point, 1 small recurring intention. Be literal. Step 2. Designate the growth aperture. This is a named, separate place. A tiny savings bucket, a micro investment account, a seed envelope, or a minutes in focus folder. Give it a name, center fund, and a numeric anchor. Step 3. Perform one directional transfer. Within 5 minutes, move that unit into the aperture, physically or digitally, and speak the anchor. For example, center plus $7, or center plus 10 minutes. Say it aloud, note it in a ledger, and close the loop. Do not cycle it back out. That is key. A single directional move into center. Variance and scaling. If you're on a tight budget, make the unit symbolic. $1, 1 minute of intentional learning, 1% of a small side earning. If you have larger cash flow, anchor with a simple percentage, 0.5 to 2% daily, is enough to signal structural change. For creatives, the unit might be one time block devoted to product development. Move 1 hour from habitual busy work into a seed session and mark it center +1 HR. The point is consistency and directionality, not size. Size compounds from center, motion does not. Measurement, how you know it's working. Keep a tiny ledger with 2 columns. Column A, circular flow, ritualized motions, symbolic transfers, habitual outflows. Column B, center accumulation, every concentric rebalance entry with anchor and date. At 30 days, compare totals. You are not judging moral value. You are measuring structure. If column B shows steady unilateral increase while column A remains flat or higher in volume but returns to zero, your center is forming. Look for signals: increasing center balance, reduced friction in decision-making around growth moves, and a changing feeling in your chest when you make a directional transfer. That feeling is the seed stone aligning. If you need tax, legal, or investment decisions, consult a professional. This practice is complementary to pragmatic finance, not a replacement for it. Quick recap. The Hollow Mandala is the pattern of beautiful motion with an empty center. Psychologically, it soothes identity and masks inactivity. Aesthetically, it cancels resonance and dissolves attractors. The concentric rebalance is one precise daily shift. Choose one unit, name a growth aperture, move that unit directionally into the center, and record the anchor. Small, consistent, irreversible moves build a seed stone, and 30 repetitions tilt your geometry toward accumulation. One shift changes your financial destiny. Money is a pattern. Awareness is the key. If you want to decode the broader architecture, the other patterns, the rituals that actually enlarge attractors, the numerological and geometric keys, explore my complete library at Desmarques.com. There you'll find step-by-step rituals, led practices, and written frameworks to scale the work beyond 5 minutes. Visit the library, pick a pattern, and run a 30-day experiment. And remember, awareness first, action second. That is the money pattern. That is the mechanism. And that is your shift today. If you're ready to decode the full architecture of your financial life, explore my complete library at Desmarques.com.